Have you ever been so riddled with fear that you feel nauseous? You have the shakes, you have endless tears, and then you start that, I would like to share a story with you, if that's okay. One, a journey that has taught me so many things through learning that through the darkest moments of our life, we grow the most. Secondly, on the other side of that fear that we were so scared about is our success and joy and fun and excitement. And thirdly, that determination, the strength, the power to transmute through those situations comes from inside us. The story I'd love to have the opportunity to share with you today, that girl, that crying, I want you to picture lying in bed, visiting something I had to challenge the next day. I was so scared. It was last summer. And honestly, it was something that seemed so big in my head. I was fearful. I was picturing and envisioning all the things that couldn't go right. All it was for me to get in the car the next day and drive from Wetaskiwin to Edmonton, all by myself. Simple, right? We all take that for granted. We drive in our cars every day by ourselves. But to help you understand a little bit more about why that was such a big traumatic deal for me is I'll take you back. 12 years prior to that, I had a little girl. Now everyone has kids. After you have children, how often do you go by yourself? Right? Anyone always just take kids with them? You're used to just riding with them in the car? Then, when the kids got a little older, that I could have had them stay by themselves a little bit more often, I needed them to come with me because now my mobility, after I was diagnosed with MS and I had a negative reaction to the medication, I'm coming back from not moving from the shoulders down, and so I know the power and privilege of a driver's license, and I was so grateful to take them, but needed them to come with me to support me. And so driving was a privilege. But to drive by myself, so scary. But who would have thought? So the next morning comes and I get up and I get dressed and I'm still got the red puffy eyes and I'm trying to put makeup on to cover up the blotchiness. And I was going to a conference that day. And I had just got lifts put in my car 2 weeks before that allowed me to have that independence back. Something I so craved, but I didn't realize that I had my independence back. And that meant I could go out by myself. And so I had to pull it together and to do this. And so I'm getting into my car and I'm shaky and my kids are all waving like, yay, Mom, you're going, and the tears are rolling down my face. And I back out of the driveway and I drive to the stop sign and I stop for a minute. I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm challenging what I seem to be such a big fear. I look around the car and I was the only one in it. I was the only one in it. There was no fighting. There was no arguing. I got to pick the radio station and listen to whatever I wanted. I did it. I made it 4 houses down to the stop sign and I was like, I can do this. And so as we all get ready to take those next steps on our adventure, know the strength and the feeling it feels to be able to step through that. To know that you can do anything you want to do. And that fear we create in our heads is only the fear we create in our heads. But it's not really true. And we can do anything that we want. And I felt like I grew so much that I could conquer anything, and I just got in my car and drove by myself, but it was the first time in 12 years. And then to know, as I sat there and I turned up the radio, and I could listen to whatever, I was dancing, I felt so successful because now I was able to go out everywhere by myself. And then I had to, as I sat at that stop sign and realized that I could do this, I could talk myself through this, ask myself the questions, I realized I could do anything I put my mind to. And that has led me to so much this year. And I'm so grateful to be able to have allowed you to look inside yourself, to know that in the darkest moments of our life, you can accomplish anything you want. Look inside yourself for that strength. And you can do anything you want. You got this. Thank you.